Hello and welcome to Chicanime. My name is Lauren, and today I'm going to be looking at a video about Frieren. This is Frieren's final test is genius. It is from channel Comfy Lilin. So yeah, if you like this video, make sure you go out and check out Comfy Lilin's channel as well. Just give him a little look-see. I'm looking forward to this. I want to know why Frieren's final test was genius. And because I'm always looking for like more creators for things that I've watched so I can get a little bit more background, so I can get more behind the scenes stuff. Last time I did a Frieren one, I got a little bit of spoilers from things that are coming up in the manga, so I hope that doesn't happen again this time. It seems like this is mostly just going to be about the final test. We'll see. If there are spoilers, I'm sorry. Let's watch.
Frieren's first class mage exam takes 11 episodes of build-up of action, grueling challenges before the final round is revealed. And it's just a vibe check. The finale of the first class mage certification concluded the whole thing with just a basic glance over from one grumpy ancient. But it might be the most genius of all three.
Intricate tests of skill, cooperation, combat problem solving, and magic abilities. Try not to give an old woman the ick for like 45 seconds. I like that. It is true. I just realized that like I might have to wait a little bit longer to post this video than I thought because my last episode, actually, Frieren hasn't come out on YouTube yet, I don't think. Anyway.
Exam tests. A lot rides on this spur-of-the-moment snap decision-making from Serie. We're told very few people have become first-class mages, and then we see the concept treated really quite lightly. But is it? The final test is a great way to round off how much the characters have grown through the arc and the first season as a whole. One of the most interesting quirks of the mage test is that, in essence, it's closing up a classic shonen format. Yet, a chat in the garden feels like the best solution that could have been done at all. Let's look at why.
Okay, let's go.
Frieren's take on the tournament arc is an ingenious way to do one. It isn't just head-to-head matches of raw strength. The first two rounds are a bit more straightforward. I mean, they're catching a bird and that turns into a knife fight. And then there's a dungeon which becomes a boss fight with Frieren's duplicate. But that test is built around cooperation, not just combat. It's the final test that gets the most creative though, while still being a fantastic assessment of how well a mage would fit into the association. You pass or fail from the assumptions of one health. It's a final test based purely on vibes. Well,
which I feel like, again, though, it does make a certain amount of sense, especially with the way that they built it up. And it's like, because Jess and I had a lot to say about the mage test and like, okay, so Serie's just going to decide at this point. But like, you know, considering that a lot of the people who passed the second test wouldn't have passed if Frieren hadn't been there. They would have been in slightly less danger if she hadn't been there, but they also just flat out wouldn't have passed if she hadn't been there either. Like, there were several things that she pointed out that she knew about. I don't know. Like, so it's like, well, more of them passed than should have. And so Serie's like, they had their hands held a little bit in a way that a first-class mage shouldn't need. Which I think it makes sense. It's like she can, if she knows what it takes to be a first-class mage, and, you know, she created the position, essentially, so she knows what she's looking for. It's like, all right, well, I know who's ready, I know who's not. Also, I know who I want to give a spell to, and I know who I don't want to give a spell to. Cough, cough, Frieren.
At first glance, in function, this does kind of serve the same narrative purpose as your traditional tournament arcs finale. There's a bit more to Serie's criteria and how it compares to our standard who's the strongest bracket fight.
Disqualified due to comments about demons.
It compares to our standard.
I do like his little cutaways here. These are fun.
Who's the strongest bracket fight though? It makes a snap decision a perfect way to end this arc. In this one conversation, we see the progress of characters just as much as a triumph in a fight, and we learn a lot more about the world too. A test might be based on conversation, but it fits with what the prize is.
Okay.
The last test of this Frieren arc isn't arbitrary. Mostly. It's mostly not. It's
Not
supposed to
mostly.
be a fix to what went wrong with the second test. The decision to switch from a normal exam to this was spur of the moment, since Frieren must have carried the other participants, right?
Yeah.
I mean, she's smurfing in Serie's favourite game. Was the second test actually overly generous? Nah, it was fine. It was absolutely fine. If Frieren hadn't have taken the exam, then she wouldn't have had a duplicate in the first place. And Ubo manages to take out the duplicate of Sensei pretty damn easily. I mean, that's kind of the final boss cleared, done. It might not have gone too differently, but let's not get too derailed.
See, that's it's the opposite of what I just said. Was that like it feels like it was like she was very helpful.
But let's not get too derailed with hypotheticals. Drop the what ifs in the comments. The final exam changes as an excuse for Serie to specifically step in and meddle with Frieren taking it as a whole. She literally says it's all Frieren's fault.
Yep.
She doesn't want the mage she doesn't respect to get into her club. Since Serie ends up agreeing that the applications are a stronger batch this year, we can assume she wasn't arbitrarily judging the contestants. The final test was a worthy judge of who is and isn't first-class mage material. So how is that decision being made? What element is established as Serie sets up the test as a whole? She isn't testing for skill or
One, falling for the same trick 1,000 times, not relevant to the mage exam. Very fair.
morality. A good first-class
Not murdering people, also not relevant. Okay, I will go back and re-listen to what he's saying here too, because again, I like his little comments.
as a whole. She isn't testing for skill or morality. A good first-class mage isn't the same thing as a good person. The criteria she directly asks about are a litmus test for character. That includes these elements. Their attitude towards becoming a first-class mage, and I mean also towards her, many lose just from this. Their opinion of Serie is she's small and cute. Visualization. Ubo gets by on visualizing herself succeeding, one of the times she actually does go based on relevant skills. View of magic. Is it a tool for murder or making some flowers? Serie is mainly looking for those who fit her view of magic. Potential. Fern largely just gets by on potential, despite not really fitting into Serie's view. She recognizes something that no one else has managed. She's exceeding Serie's own apprentices. Glasses actually gets through in a similar way here though. He just impresses by having the balls to do the whole thing working remotely.
Yeah, right? Which is still so cool. I was like, that was sick. When I found out that he was never actually there, I was like, that's baller. Like, that was really sick. Like, and no wonder frickin' Uval couldn't get a read on him, because he was not actually there.
And lastly, and most importantly,
Not being named
called
Frieren. Yep, that's the most important bit. No Frieren's
Some of these
club.
failures are interesting. Lack of imagination, fear. Then she spends a while just insulting Frieren for not killing the Demon King single-handedly, which provokes the discussion of their two approaches to magic. It's a look into the bigger part of what she's testing for, why a conventional test can help us better understand the characters. Do the entrants align with her view of what the elite mages should do and think? It's character that's being tested, and that's what we're seeing as we delve into this test. Frieren used the flower spell as instrumental to killing the Demon King and inspired a young Himmel to live the way he did. It's an approach completely at odds with Series, who views inefficiency as weakness and magic as a tool for combat. Frieren doesn't fit her definition of a good mage. She's wasted her time on something completely irrelevant. The flashback is a nice parallel to the present too, a different version of an important decision being made based entirely on vibes.
I loved that bit. Oh my god, when we saw that, we were both like almost crying. And then like again, I just recently like kind of rewatched it because I just edited this episode, and I think it went up this week. Anyway, I just edited it and I was like, I was like, but it was so cute. Like, and it was so amazing and perfect. And like, yeah, that field of flowers inspired him to go find her later. And that's why she is here now. So like the butterfly effect, you know? It's there, boom.
Himmel is explaining why he put faith in Frieren, as Serie is explaining why she won't. Or at least because they have a different view on what magic should be, she won't encourage her. The chasm in belief illuminates an inherent difference in how the two elves see the world, even if they both share the same struggle with connection, because one has never actually experienced all the good that can come from showing someone kindness. Throughout the test, we get to learn more about the characters we've spent this Frieren arc with, but more broadly, how they view their role, including some great setup for important characters later. Denkin gets a lot of credit for being military-minded in his test. He has a very different answer to favourite spell, saying magic is a tool for combat, a response that actually makes Serie smile, yet the military-minded mages that pass all seem personally more interested in Frieren's approach to magic, maybe more so than Serie's. At the end, we see she does remember each of her apprentices' favourite spell, and none of them, it turns out, are for killing. The inefficient...
I forgot about that because I haven't edited this one yet. I haven't edited this next one, so it's like, there's certain things that's like, we finished watching Frieren months ago, so like my recollection of like a lot of the details has kind of vanished, which is why I've been enjoying the edits, and also why I've been enjoying kind of looking at some of these background sort of videos, because like you know, it's like, and again, I love to get to see other people's interpretations of it and like them reminding me of why I enjoyed the show in the moment. I love it. So thank you again for making this video, and yeah, I will be subscribing probably.
And weakness of using spells just for fun. Magic to create a personal connection. It's the exact type of human connection Frieren has been chasing since the death of Himmel the hero. The process they go through to get approval from an elf with a grudge who has decided she's the authority on anyone daring to use magic. But most of the passing mages seem to get more enjoyment from Frieren's approach. Serie also struggles to make connection as parallels to Frieren, but in a way, she's almost like a Frieren who never met Himmel.
Or she, like, you can definitely see how Frieren could have become Serie anyway. Like, you can absolutely see that. And I'm so glad that she met Himmel.
Point just before the test is Frieren trying to fix Fern's staff. Stark consoles her that Frieren, while she can't quite understand, is trying. Serie isn't trying. She's never learnt to. It's Frieren's efforts to reach out with magic, like she did with such a young Himmel, that seems to inspire the passing first-class mages. It's impressive how much we can learn about these people from just a few brief conversations. We learn how they view the world, but more interestingly, we kind of delve into the impact of our actions on the world itself, of how much further even smaller kindnesses can go.
Jess and I talked about that a lot too during our watch through, like how little it takes to change the world. Like one small, seemingly insignificant action, being kind to a frightened young lad, can lead to the destruction of the Demon King eventually. I'm like, just the little kindnesses. And it really is the little kindnesses. You help somebody and then, maybe they're having a really, really bad day, but that you helping them up after they've been knocked down, maybe it changes the course of that day. And it's like, they remember the kindness, and then I don't know. It's being kind is just, it's important. I think it's important to be as kind as you can to as many people as you can. And it costs very little. I mean, you can be kind by buying stuff for people, of course, but just a smile, a genuine smile, a genuine compliment. Like, it can really change, it can change somebody's night. Like, just do it.
One of the biggest takeaways from this arc is how much Fern impresses in her exam. Serie sees potential in Fern and doesn't want it wasted by Frieren's bizarre devotion to useless skills. Serie views deceiving demons as a waste of time compared to just becoming powerful. It's inefficient. I mean, why bother when you could just murder them? Frieren is unskilled since she's chosen a different focus to Serie, yet it's recognizing suppression that establishes Fern's potential. She wants her to become a first-class mage in the model Serie designs herself. The setup meeting is all to establish that Fern is something special here, like beating a strong opponent in a tournament arc. We get to see Fern impressing the unbelievably powerful opponent with her potential, a clear marker of her progress for the series so far. After all of Serie's apprentices didn't notice the mana suppression, the big opponent, the one who just banished a number of our supporting cast, is instantly won over. This achieves that same sense of progress that the fights often give in a tournament arc. It serves the same role, but it manages to do it with a conversation that can reveal more about the characters and the world. It's a character-first approach to ending the exams.
Okay.
The test still achieves the same thing.
Which, again, makes a certain amount of sense in a show like this, which was very character-driven. I love that. I hadn't considered that.
Expect from a tournament arc here, essentially hyping up Fern, letting us know that she has the potential to go incredibly far. We could have had that by having Fern beat another mage in a crazy one-on-one fight, likely from perceiving some key detail that gives her the advantage, just like she does in the actual test. But the conversation used in this arc, it's much cleverer.
I like it.
For its point in the story, the first class mage exam works really well as a creative take on the tournament arc. In the most traditional tournament arc sense, it takes Fern and gives us a benchmark for her progress, a recognition of her development that can show progression and growth in world building and as a character exploration. It's genius. The exam slows things back down after the action. It delves a little into the characters' views of themselves, shows development of the next generation before recentering everything on our core themes of connection. To finish a tournament arc with this kind of unique test, to strip away all the fluff to deliver what we dramatically need from the end of the arc. The ending of the tournament does much more to build things out than any of the other tests did, and it manages it in a much simpler form. We get a deeper understanding of how our cast's views clash with each other, and beyond that, what magic means in this world. Not to mention having one of the most moving flashbacks so far, something that echoes in the present, showing how far basic kindness can radiate through our actions and impact everything. This concluding exam test takes a simple conversation and can make such a beautiful point with something so simple.
Yes! That's what I said!
Hey,
Oh my
consider
gosh.
subscribing if you want to see
will.
more similar stuff. Cheers.
Thank you. Okay, that was great. I really liked that video. Oh, he did great. Okay, reminder, y'all. Okay, it's gonna be in the description below. Comfy Lilin is the name of this particular creator. I'm going to subscribe. I don't watch these on the Chicanime page because it's not it's not premium. I have to my own. I watch it on my own because mine is the one that's premium. But I'm gonna be subscribing to him with the Chicanime channel. So that's where I'm at. I just need to subscribe to him really quickly because I really enjoyed that. I'm gonna give him a like. Yeah, he did great. Anyway, I would like to watch more of him. So if there's more like that, go ahead, let me know. And thank you so much for watching. I really, really enjoyed that video. And I cannot wait to watch more. So thanks so much, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.